This needs a mod. Good afternoon YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be strengthening the rear rack on the Royal Enfield Himalayan using a part that's supplied by a company called Givi. Stay tuned and I'll show you how it's done. Alright folks, so the rear rack on a Himalayan is quite a well-known weak point on the bike. People tend to put heavy top boxes on there, then when you're going off-road or you're going up these gravel tracks and stuff, that weight tends to snap them. I'll show you just exactly what I mean. So I've seen people do different solutions to this. I've seen somebody weld a plate on here. I've seen people put strengthening members from here onto the rear racks and stuff like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit a part from a company called Givi. Wait, I'll just show you that now. Ta-da! This goes by the catchy title of the SR9050. I'll put links in the description down below. So here it is, you've got the strengthening member and you've got the steel plate that then gets bolted up onto here. Now this is designed so that you can put a Givi top box on here. There's different brackets and stuff like that. In all honesty, I didn't actually intend to replace this part because I had no intentions of putting a top box on there. I still don't really. I'm going to throw bags on the back, but it's, the more I think about it, the more I've thought it might be not necessarily a bad idea, because it's not beyond the realms of possibility that I might have some weight on there at some point in the future. And if I am going to put a top box on there, it's likely to be a Givi box, so it kind of future proofs me a little bit in that respect. Okay, so tools today, I'm going to be using a socket set. You can go ahead and use spanners or whatever you've got available. I've just decided to use the sockets today. So when we install that, we need to take the rear tail light off. We need to unbolt this. The first thing you want to do is just disconnect the back light here. Very simple, just pops out like that. So these are going to be a bit tight when you first crack them open, but dead simple. Once you get them loose, once you get these loose, they'll come off really easily. I've just gone ahead and I've loosened these just ever so slightly with these Allen keys. What you want is just that little bit of movement there, so that we can go ahead and we can put this new rear rack on there. I saw somebody else in another video fitted one of these and it didn't fit properly, so they ended up cutting off the back of this tail rack. It's not something I would necessarily want to do. So Givi supply a whole bunch of new bolts and stuff and washers and stuff with this. I'll just show you how this goes together. First thing I'm going to do is fit the light to the strengthening bracket. Pretty straightforward. This light gets bolted straight onto this new strengthening plate. I've fed the cable through the middle because there's spacers there. Givi provides spacers. So it's bolt, little washer, bracket, spacer, and then straight into this. A bit of Loctite on here. You don't need too much, remember, just at one end of the bolt. So these Givi bolts are a little bit longer because obviously you've got this plate here in place now, which is lifting this up slightly. I'm going to nip this down. Now, I'm not going to make it too tight yet in case I need to readjust anything. We'll get it down and then we'll get the plate on the back before we do any final tightening on that. Because the top plate is bolted into this here, it's also bolted in through here as well. Getting plenty of Loctite, don't be shy, you don't want this coming loose, especially if it's going to be bearing weight. I'm just going to nip these nice and tight with a pair of pliers. Just put these in sort of finger tight. I'll show you underneath. These are all nice and loose. So I'm just going to hold this up with a spanner. These are actually tightened up with an Allen key at the top here. Last thing I'm tightening up is just these two middle ones here, which are actually bolted to the bracket themselves. These are the slightly shorter. These are the slightly shorter ones that are through here. You see now how that's a good bit stronger on there. There's no way that should break. You can see how the light's been relocated ever so slightly with a new bracket. So as I said earlier, this is not really a modification I was going to rush out right away and put on the bike. If I do end up putting a top box on this, it's likely to be Givi, so putting the Givi plate on there that's compatible with some of the unlockable mounts makes sense. But to be honest, I'm going to be throwing soft bags on there. I might end up with a tent stuck on the back or something like that. So that just gives it that little bit extra scaffolding. So hopefully that will help to protect it. Okay, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you liked this. If you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below. In the next video I'm going to be installing Givi pannier frames to the bike. If you're interested in that, watch this video here. I'll see you in the next one.